How are you guys doing? This is take two. I'm telling you, I am just having a time today. I was stuck in traffic for 2.5 hours coming from Santa Anita, Arcadia to pick up my paper, Turf Terrace and Upper Club. I'll be working at the Breeders' Cup 11-1 through 11-2. So I met up with Alexis. She's like the new director there. So she took me on a little tour and we went up there. She showed me how the place was remodeled. And the people were paying $1,000 per table, and there are 4 seats at the table, she told me. And then that doesn't count the amount of alcohol like they'll be drinking, and like the bottles of alcohol, bottles of champagne start at $80 an hour. We have some sponsored drinks that start at $20 to $40 an hour. Then you can like sell the well drink and other drinks. So she said, your responsibility, Martins, you have these 500 people. I've had you, I thought I was going to be a buster, but she said, no, I'll just show you the machine, get your brain all blown up for the day, and you'll do that. So after she showed me that, I walked out, I went by, on the way over to the Turf Club, we passed by this horse named Reggie. This is big white gray horse, so cute. It's Reggie, he has another friend, we'll call him Reggie too, and we saw a black horse, let's call him, I don't know, Leroy. And they were all there, and they like take people on little carriage rides. So when the Breeders' Cup comes, like the women will wear their big caps, nice outfits. So Leroy, Reggie, and Reggie number 2 will take people on little tours on the horse carriage. So I thought that was cute. And then I went in there, got in my car, almost got in like 3 accidents. Accident number 1, I was in the opposite lane trying to get to the mall. I don't know what I was thinking. Accident number 2, I tried to turn right into a parking lot, almost hit somebody. So I had to come out, turn back around, almost had a Beamer behind me, almost hit it, till I was finally ready to park. Then after that, I went to Macy's, got some shirts, then I headed home. It took me 2.5 hours to go 30 miles. And you're like, why is that, Martin? Well, let me give you an old man story. Back in back in like the year 2008, there was this thing called the Great Depression. Well, if you talk about my area, I'm like in the San Bernardino, Riverside County area. Just that we had a lot of jobs at banks or some professional places where people were making $40,000 to $50,000, and that was enough to buy them a house. Because back in say 2008, 2009, houses were about $350,000, $325,000, $300,000. I mean like $255,000, $275,000. So that's about $1,700 to $1,800. And then you had some change left over to pay your utilities, pay for maybe a decent car or something. Well, during the Great Depression, like thousands of bank jobs were eliminated, thousands of retail jobs. Say people who worked in the retail sector got commission, bringing home $70,000, $80,000. Their jobs were eliminated. So that means now, in order to keep that house, and yes, people lost their houses, thousands of houses, millions of houses were like left open, vacant and stuff, homeless people living in them. Now when you cut to the day now, where I live at, there's like 4 or 5 warehouses. Pro Lodges, Amazon Fulfillment, like a 4 wheels thing, how you call it, like a 4-wheel thing. Also I also have Mercedes. So, but the problem with those jobs is, just so much, the problem with those jobs is they only pay $15,000, $16,000 an hour. And then if you do the math, that's only basically $1,600. You can't keep your house that you've like been paying $2,000 a month for, plus other expenses. So the people have had to like search for jobs elsewhere, like the 49ers. So if you go out to that area, now they're in places like Marina Del Rey, which they call Silicon Beach. That's where YouTube and other companies are. So they can make $60,000, $70,000 a year helping grow a business with promise of options. You have universities, more universities over that way that are more established, that other companies are built around. Or you can be a teacher, like unified school districts, where you're like, it's a higher cost of living, you make money. So that's where all the jobs went. So if you come to my area, I have a bunch of like young people. Like I said, my rent is $1,873 a month, and I'm only bringing home $1,400 a month. No young person can afford this. So unless unless they get a roommate, they have to get a roommate. They're living at home. And the other thing you have going on is they'll just say, oh, I want a cool car. So they'll buy a cool car. So like I saw when I leave the gym sometimes, you just see people hanging out in their cars. It's just a thing. Parents say, I don't want to see you, go get money or whatever. And they just stay in their cars. And then also on my way back, after I spent 2.5 hours in traffic, I got off the freeway, stuck in traffic again. I'm like, oh, what's going on? Oh, you know what? There's a rave going on, like at this place called the Orange Show. It's like some type of costume rave type thing. So you start walking around. I saw the kids, they can't be more than 18, 19-year-old, dressed up. The guys looking all gay with their shirts hanging up. The girls wearing the thongs and the mini skirts, looking like Wonder Man and all these outfits. And I'm thinking, see, that's the problems. Like during my generation, back to an old man story, at least the young people had the potential right away, like, hey, you can get a $20,000, $30,000 job, start building your independence quick, and from there, if you want to, buy a house and drop out. Now, hey, you start off, you're at an Amazon fulfillment warehouse, you're at a Mercedes fulfillment warehouse, and you're not making enough to get your own apartment. So what do you do? You seek out pleasures. That's why the rave is it's crowded. There's like 3 or 4 cops on every corner. All they're doing is directing traffic. Their cops are making overtime. So you can just imagine how much money that place is making. And that's all the young people can do now. Like they can't build a career for themselves. So it's all about pleasure. So what little money they have, hey, I'll spend it on a car. I'll spend it on a rave. So now you have like this big divide now. So you have the students who at least their parents were able to go out, find extra job, make money, and support them and push them up. And you have some who their parents, maybe they were like decimated during the last Great Recession, don't have any type of sales skills. They're maybe a plumber or working as a havoc guy at some company, but that company moved out of state. So now the kids are, hey, right now I'm working at a fulfillment center, bringing home $1,800 a month. And if I'm not disciplined to invest that money, I'll go spend $400. I guess I'll go spend $400 for a car. That leads you down to about $1,400, and then maybe mom and dad will make me pay $200, and then hopefully they invest that money or they're spending it for school, or they'll just go party it away. So what I'm trying to say is that's the reason I'm not going to take, I start at 51 and then I got to take the weekend off, man. Because right now what we have going on in California is that rent control. So that means this by $1,873 I'm paying now will probably be $2,100 in a year. They'll cap my rent increase, but after I move out, the owner's gonna like be upset because he hasn't been able to gradually raise his rent to what he wanted. That's $2,100, and then Amazon and those guys, you're not gonna increase their wages, would you? I mean, like I told you, remember the story I tell you about Calvin and I working at Petavita Mold and Dye? We ran like a 40,000, 50,000 square foot place. I produce at least 1,000 sensors a day on an injection molding machine. Took them off the machine, scrape them with the knife, put them together, give them to Calvin and I, box them. Later on, him and I actually did soldering, put in electronic signals. We did like the first generation of solid click, click alarms. That was just 2 of us in the warehouse, not counting the owner say, hey, I want you to sweep up. Calvin was running a CNC machine, something called a milling machine. We did soldering, and also I was outside doing door-to-door sales for spring. That was 2 people, and sometimes the owner's son would come out, help out a little, but he was mostly running like the CNC machine. That's like the milling machine that's kind of computer operated. He had like one of the first generations of that. So when I go and see all these warehouses and stuff, I was like, they're like at least 40 to 50% overstaffed, because I've worked in a warehouse and I didn't have no goggles, I didn't have no vest, and I had no lines like a rat telling me where to go. His boss said, you better figure out where to go, boy, you're gonna get fired. That's your line. The line is just the lining in your pocket. So That's why at 52, so I'm starting my own business in sales. And so I'm going to the Breeders' Cup. I'm taking a day off because I know times are about to get hard. If you guys look at my other videos, you remember how I had a student loan that was over $94,000 in 2016. That'll be down to $36,795 as of next month. My goal is to pay off that loan. And the only way to get that loan pay off, I got to bring in more money. You can look at my story, see what I said. But what I want you guys to do now is put $100 to $500 away, and I'll tell you what to do with it later. I just want you to learn the feeling of putting away $100 to $500 at the end of the month when you think you're totally broke. I want you to pull it out. Think, oh, you know what? Thank God, Martin. I don't have to go to the grocery store and pay my groceries with a credit card. I've done that before. That's just so humiliating. No, it's not cool. Because you know you're going to forget to pay it. And then like $100 groceries will turn into $120 because during my time, at least interest rate was at 3 to 5%. Not even that anymore. It's like half and half a percent. It's sad, but it might as well just be zero. So you ain't going to make any savings on the bank. Now when you go to the other side, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, interest rates at least 15% with good credit. Just think about some of these people with bad credit. 20%, 22%, $100 worth of grocery will cost you $122. Do you want to live like that? I don't think so. And as I told you before, diesel is going to follow gas. We're going to have a slow Christmas season. So that's why now you got to learn how to sell. You got to make yourself more valuable at your company. And you got to learn how to take the weekends off, man. Which you just like me. I'm going to be up. I got to get there by, she said, Mark, once you're here by 7, you can work till 6. I'm not going for the tips. I'm going for that check. Just give me the $12 an hour. Give me a little overtime. But give me the opportunity to be around people who are making money. I want to learn what that person did to be able to pay $1,000 for a table. I just went to Panda Express and spent $10. They're spending 100 times more. Just think what I can learn. I want you guys to subscribe. It's time for us to grow this community. I want to get up to 1,000 viewers by November. Let's push ourselves. I want to create a community or clan that strives during a recession, that does not survive. You don't want to just survive because things are about to get hard. Just like those kids at the Rafe are going to learn, this may be the last time they have a good time, because they may come back on Monday, find out that job at Amazon is, hey,